So I'm probably just gonna add few touches to this and shine it. But I also need my black. Should have got all these colors out before you came, but I was undecided on what I was gonna work on. You know, you have to be mentally ready. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh. I'm Latrice Sheriff. I'm an artist, born and raised Chicago. It's everything that I know. Chicago is where I found my gift and love from doing everything that I do. From, being an artist and getting into the fashion industry. It's just where all the groundwork was laid. And 13 years ago, moved to Dallas, and this has been home since. But nothing takes the place of Chi-Town. I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a sister, and I like to believe that I'm a great friend. This is a piece that I have been working on actually since quarantining. I was almost done, and it just got real crazy with the whole COVID thing, and I had stopped working on it for months and started working on multiple pieces. Actually, there are a couple more pieces here that I started working on during my quarantine, and just found another wave of passion came through during that time, because we were here and that was really all I had to do was be at home and paint. So I actually done maybe several new pieces, and I've actually sold maybe like 3 of them right after, the quarantine let up a little bit. But, I'm back at it, and this is what I love to do in my downtime. A lot of people say, well, when do you have time to even do that? I make time to do this because this is what I love to do the most. So days like today, it's a Sunday. I'm usually working, but this just so happened to be a Sunday that I'm not working, and this is what I like to do during that time. My family's out. I have a very athletic family. My husband, he's a coach, he's a trainer, he runs marathons, and while they're out usually doing that, I need to be doing that, but I do this, or I'm on somebody's photo shoot set, helping out with a photo shoot, or just being creative or something like that throughout the week. This is what I do every day, all day. A lot of the times my pieces are hard to explain or talk about because it comes from a place just really in my head during the time. Everything is freestyle. Like, I never know what I'm gonna paint when I start. So it's not like I'm looking at anything. I don't get an inspiration from nothing other than music that I'm listening to at the time, or something that I may have dreamed about, or just an image that's stuck in my head. When I start painting, the colors come to me, and eventually it turns into whatever it was supposed to be. I love, colors and abstract, and I love African art. I love, big fan of Basquiat, and of course Warhol, and all the greats, with colorful images and just different, pieces that you actually have to try and figure out what were they thinking when they did this. Before any of this, I was into being an educator. Like, I have a big heart for special needs children and troubled teens. So back home in Chicago, before I took off in the fashion industry, I was working for a nonprofit organization, whereas I was like an anger management type of person. I don't even know. I was some type of anger manager for the youth. Like, I was the one that they would come to. We would go to the different high-risk high schools and talk about feelings and what's going on in their world and things like that. So I just took to that. So I remember getting wrote up for taking a couple of the girls under my wing, and my boss found out about it and was just like, brought me into the office like, hey, I heard you took that girl some diapers and some milk. We can't do that. We can't get attached. We're here to do a job and XYZ. So after a while, of course, that didn't work for me because I felt like I was needed, to help those few handful of girls. One of them I actually still talk to. She wasn't a mother, but she was a troubled teen at that time. Very sweet girl. Just had some tough times. So I remember when I left that job, we still kept in touch. And today, she was one that I reached. I was working at a company called Custom Kings. And we were known for customizing pieces. Like, we had seamstresses that worked at the company making leather coats, leather jackets, leather jerseys, back when it was like a big trend with, people like, Cash Money and Bow Wow, and those guys used to get these leather jackets and leather jerseys from us, and we became really, really popular with doing that for, the community. People from the crib, was rocking and wearing all of those things, and I was one of the ones that would sketch up what they want when they came in. Oh, I want my block on the back, and I want this on the front, and I want my baby name on the arm. So I was the one sketching those things up, and of course, it had grew really fast in the music industry. So the wardrobes, a couple of celebrity wardrobe stylists back then would reach out to us for like Snoop Dogg and Chris Brown and Usher and people like that. So Usher's ex-wife, Tamika Raymond, would come into town and reach out to us like, hey, I need this, I need that. And one day, I suppose she just needed an extra hand and some help, and my boss said, hey, go. And I was like, what? So that's how I got started. Working for Bedonis. I've been working for Bedonis for, man, how long has it been? Maybe since 2012? How long ago was that? I've been working for Bedonis for about 8 or 9 years, and I've been doing the creative work. I am the creative director for Bedonis, and I'm basically responsible for like all of the stylish needs, like the website, the look of the website. Like, I basically taught myself how to do graphics and edit photos and take the pictures if I need to. I've invested in a camera. I've invested in, you know, all of the necessary things when it was really hard to, you know, get people on the same page or do what you need them to do. I just started doing it myself. So eventually, you know, Bidana's was always big. Bidana's have been in business for over 20 years. I, you know, was basically the missing puzzle, and we just grew and moved on to doing bigger things. And, you know, social media happened and the website happened, and, you know, and now, you know, little over maybe 500,000 followers on Instagram. It just took us to another level, you know, and along with tons of models that we've used in Dallas to help showcase what we was bringing to Dallas stores. We were in the malls for several years here before we became strictly online and had a brick and mortar store, and just been, you know, killing it ever since, really. But we found ourselves renting out, you know, Airbnbs and different creative spaces and studios for years, you know, having events and pop-up shops and traveling. It was just like, now is the time, you know. I think it's time to get our own space so that we don't keep renting and, you know, doing all over the place. Come once a week. I have to shoot once a week, so I'm having to come up with things to do and places to go to do these shoots, you know, outside, inside a studio, or finding creative things. So quarantine, we were like, we gotta a plan B. You know, what's after this, you know. Even though Bidana's did well, we just started, you know, trying to think of different things, other things to do, and finding a creative space was definitely one of them. This is my new baby. I'll show you around. Still recovering from New Year's, as you can see, but we have a full kitchen for all the chefs to prep and do different things, you know, photography purposes or whatever. But this is the aftermath of New Year's. And back here is, it's like, you know, boho chic style type of vibe. So I was inspired to do this room by, you know, my spirituality vibes I be getting, you know, my mood setting. And I'm also like a creative, one of the creatives for a company called Bougie Hippie. So I'm like, this is perfect. I can set that back room up to give me the vibe to kill like two birds with one stone. So all of the stuff that I had collected from, you know, working for Bougie Hippie, I just brought all the aesthetics here. So when I have to have a shoot, here I am. I'm no longer having to rent hotel rooms to set my vibe. I can set it right here however I like. So that's what inspired this room. Me loving crystals and, you know, pure energy, and just another space to get creative and do my thing here. And back here is where the iPhone is. This room we're going into. It's a very small room, but it's a graffiti room that I absolutely love. And I did everything myself, and I still got work to do. But if a person took the time to actually read what's on the walls, it's a lot of things that I love, or it's about me. So, I actually do not smoke marijuana, by the way, but from what I hear, from what I hear, it saves lives. One of my favorite albums, Reasonable Doubt. Woodlawn Gardens is actually where I grew up at in Chicago. 801 was my address. College Dropout was one of my favorite albums. Narcos is one of my favorite Netflix shows that I love. I got Wu-Tang up there. I got my J. Cole. Selling Dope is one of my favorites. I'm actually a former athlete too. My daughter is an athlete. My husband is a former athlete. So that's the representation of the basketball net there. Big fan of the Locks. This whole movement we went through this year. Last year. We're no longer in 2020. And Windy City is where I'm from. And this is my other little creative space here, so I'll be doing more painting. I still gotta get to the ceiling and finish up in here, but I've already had a couple of shoots here too, so it's actually open for whatever, video, scenes, footage, whatever y'all need it for, it's here. Yeah. I am Latrice Sheriff, and this is Singing.
All these just wanna be a mini me. All these just wanna be a mini me. Friend of me, any me. All these just wanna be a mini me. All these just wanna be a mini me. All these just wanna be a mini me. Friend of me,